Since the Friday quake in Japan, you may be looking around your home differently these days or taking a second look at buildings, wondering what would fall down. The BC Legislature probably would. The 113-year-old provincial parliament buildings would be a death trap in a major quake. And the Liberals have known quietly about the danger for 5 years. But is the Clark government prepared to spend the money needed to make the parliament buildings safe? Or is the need greater elsewhere? Here's A News Legislature reporter Shachi Kurl.
When we show you the view from the legislature, it's usually this: sweeping hallways, smiling politicians. But the buildings are also the workplace of hundreds of government assistants, researchers, yes, even journalists. And if a major earthquake shook Victoria, chances of survival here are slim. A report written 5 years ago, kept quiet until now, outlines the grim scenarios. The outside walls with no reinforcements would collapse. Inside walls would fracture, joints would buckle, and there are fears the roof could cave in. The cost to fix all this? $250 million.
There needs to be a look at what needs to be done here at the legislature, so I'm very confident that that work over time will be considered.
As bad as things are in the buildings, it's worse at the armory. The structure is even older than the legislature. No reinforcement here, just bare brick and drywall. Scattered old driver's licenses show it once housed the motor vehicle branch. Now, empty floors are used to store old furniture.
This building doesn't just look condemned, it is. Take a look at all these overhead beams. In the event of an earthquake, there is nothing here to stop them from falling down through floors below. And there are people working underneath.
People like Craig McInnes. Columnist for the Vancouver Sun, he's worked in the armory for 7 years and knows the score.
Well, if an earthquake, a big earthquake comes, the report says that this place will be falling down. There are these little knives over my head, which I presume will fall down and cut me into little pieces if I try and get out the door.
A terrifying scenario if you think about it. McInnes says he tries not to, but the Clark government will have to as it balances another pressing need. Seismic upgrades to more than 600 BC schools. It's something the province promised to have finished by 2020. Still, the work going on now at Victoria's Central Middle School is happening slowly, it's expensive, and it takes priority.
Should seismic upgrading the schools be the priority over upgrading the legislature?
I would tend to make it so, yeah.
Can they spend $250 million here rather than upgrading schools? No politician could do that.
Which is exactly what the Premier's thinking about as she drives her family-first agenda, because while the buildings may well fall in an earthquake, the political priorities of government always stand. In Victoria, Shachi Kurl, A News.